Mr. Farenthold.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. And I, as a member of the Transportation Committee, I'm also deeply concerned about the TSA. So, Mr. Vores, Chairman Mica asks you about the statement Secretary Napolitano made, seeing doubling of wait times in airports as a result of sequestration. Has that happened?
I am not aware that we've had any doubling of wait times at airports across the country.
Has there been any significant measurable increase that you're aware of?
I am aware of, in some instances, where in some airports, due to the elimination or reduction of overtime that is required and is resulted in some additional wait time.
You are aware that the UK's Telegraph reported that airport officials at two of our busiest airports, Atlanta and LAX, have reported, let me get the quote here, no significant changes in wait time, nothing beyond what's normal. I guess my concern, and we're seeing it throughout the government, is the scare tactics associated with sequestration and bad choices being made on where to implement those cuts. Are y'all still talking about doing furloughs within the TSA?
No.
All right. And so how are you looking at meeting those cuts?
Predominantly, again, the cuts at TSA cut across the various program plan activity accounts, the PPAs. The way TSA is structured, most of their salaries and expenses are in individual PPAs, so those will be subject to the 5% cut.
So you're going to cut salaries then? Is that what you're?
No, you'll have to cut, reduce overtime. You'll reduce training in other accounts.
Okay, and the chairman pointed out, was it over 25%? Is it 1 in 4? There's one manager for every 4 TSA employees. I mean, that seems awful high to me too.
Yeah, I don't know that that's the number. I'd be happy to provide the committee with a complete accounting of the supervisors.
Right. And with these cuts, y'all are still hiring, right?
No, we have a hiring freeze.
Then how come there are 54 security specialist jobs currently posted on the Federal Government Employment website?
Well, I don't know when, what date those.
That was today.
I don't know what the posting date of those were, but TSA has implemented.
All right, so you're wasting people's time having to apply for jobs that aren't there. You might want to go ahead and take those down. Mr. Hale, I wanted to visit with you about some of the Defense Department issues. I have the Corpus Christi Army Depot in the district I represent, and they're potentially facing furloughs despite saving the government a ton of money on repairing rotary wing aircraft. But assuming the Senate passes the MILCON, VA, and DOD appropriations similar to the House, are you going to have the flexibility to minimize furloughs and cuts and the overall effect of the sequestration on the programs if we give you more reprogramming authority in an appropriations bill as opposed to a CR?
Well, first, we didn't unfortunately get any, so far at least, any additional transfer authority for reprogramming. Our problems are more than sequestration, Mr. Farenthold. You're probably aware of this, but the continuing resolution has the money in the wrong places. That will get fixed if the Congress passes it. But we have numerous other problems. We're going to protect our wartime spending, which means we have to take disproportionate cuts in the base budget. And unfortunately right now we are spending more than we anticipated 2 years ago when we put together the wartime budget. When you add all that up, over the next 7 months we're about 40% short under current laws of our needs for O&M, which is causing the readiness crisis. The bill that's before Congress or the Senate right now, if it passes, will solve about 1/3 of that, but we will still be in a crisis situation. We're going to have to cut training and lay off people.
I appreciate that, and I'm running out of time. I want to get, and I don't mean to jump around, but I do want to get to Mr. Edwards and ask him a question specifically with respect to IT at Homeland Security. One of y'all's recommendations was increasing security from possible insider threats by simple things like disabling the USB port on computers so rogue employees couldn't download all sorts of data. Have those been implemented yet?
Thank you, sir. TSA did not concur with us. So that remains still and resolved.
It seems to me like every low-budget spy movie you have has somebody plugging something into a USB port and walking off with all sorts of data. Just turning those off would seem like an inexpensive, easy recommendation. And there are quite a few other recommendations throughout Homeland Security that haven't been implemented and would save money. Is that not correct?
Just 153.
Thank you very much. I'll yield back.